Okay, so now this is a test of my very first vlog, Moto Vlog. Not sure if it's going to be any good or not because of the wind noise I'm getting through my helmet. I do have the mic on the inside of the helmet, so maybe that helps out some, but we'll see. And it may talk a little funny because this helmet, it fits pretty comfortably, but it still squeezes my cheeks together a little bit, so it gives me fish lips. So I may pronounce some words kind of funny because of it. I'm out riding this evening on my 06 KLR 650. Pretty decent bike. I bought it brand new back in 2006. Been riding for quite some time, since I was a kid. And introduce myself. This is G of Daggett's Dam. I didn't take the name G to be fancy or anything. That's what my grandkids call me. This road right here gets real messed up, so I got to really pay attention. Running some T63s, Michelin tires on the KLR. Gives me some pretty decent traction. Works out pretty well on the highway too. Suspension though on this thing sucks when you're in real bumpy roads off-road, but you know, considering what you pay for this bike, you know, even brand new, it's not that expensive. Now this is a Gen 1, so I don't know how this compares to the Gen 2s. I am going to put some progressive strings in this thing because one of the channels that I watch a lot, Everride, he put some progressives on his. It seems to claims that it really handles his KLR handles a whole lot better with that. So we're going to see. I'm going to hopefully invest in a pair of those. I like what he did to his bike. Some people said he Frankensteined it. I don't know. It looks pretty off-roadish now. I mean, you still can't adjust the suspension or anything like that, but you know, I wouldn't take these things on single track trails, even though there are some people who do that. And watching his videos, he actually took it on some pretty gnarly stuff. So, hang on. Big bump! Yeah, that hurt. Well, it didn't hurt me, it's a big bump. Jars the motorcycle like nobody's business. Alright, one more rough section I think to go through and then life gets better. Big bump. But anyway, I thought it'd be kind of fun to start moto vlogging. Have some fun doing some creative stuff. And something is itching my nose really bad. So I gotta stop for a second, figure what this is out. It's bugging the daylights out of me here. There we go. Seems a little better. This road here can be a little sandy. Thing doesn't handle its best in the sand. And where I ride a lot, there's a lot of sand, so you kind of just got to get used to it. Riding out here on the forest roads. But anyway, yeah, getting into moto vlogging, pretty much the whole world's in it. But I just figured it might be something fun to do. Get a little creative. I like video editing and I like to talk, so that should go together pretty well. Man, this road has gotten really rough. Alright. Not sure what the hell that was. But anyway, I'm also trying out a new GoPro mount on my, I'm running my dirt bike helmet. My old GoPro mount, I actually had it zip tied to the intake, which worked real well, but the helmet didn't fit real well, so I got me a new helmet. And got me the chin mount, GoPro mount off of Amazon. It's rather pricey at $29.99, I think it is. For what you get, I don't know, hopefully these straps will last. Well, the straps look good, as the buckles seem kind of cheap. It'd be nice to have some metal buckles or something like that. Maybe they went plastic because they're afraid it might scratch, but I just hopefully those plastic buckles don't break when you put a lot of stress on them. Because, you know, to keep this GoPro from moving around, you kind of got to cinch that thing down pretty tight. Another problem I have sometimes out riding is carpal tunnel. My hands go numb, so I'm going to have to do some let go of the handlebars here and there. So this road's a tough thing to do. But anyway, back to riding. That's what I love to do. I got a few different bikes I like to ride. So about me, you know, I got some grandkids. Like I said, that's why they call me G. Oh, drive section coming up. Alright, that one wasn't too bad. Anyway, started out riding a Honda Cub 65, a 1966 Honda Cub 65. It was a 3-speed with an automatic clutch. You could take and you shift it just by letting off the gas. Put it in gear and it would sit there. I guess it's kind of like the recluse clutches are now, sort of. I used to ride that thing. I'd take that thing trail riding. I was probably, I'd say about the 5th or 6th grade when I started riding that. And then I upgraded. Now when I say upgraded on a lot of this, I usually mean my brother, older brother, bought another motorcycle. He just never really got around to riding them. I did. Kawasaki 100 Bushmaster. It was a 1970 something, early 70s I think. And I took that thing all over the place. Had a mini bike. Mini bike was fun, but chain kept coming off of it, so my dad wound up taking it back. But it was fun to ride. After my Bushmaster got older, rode that for years. Then I got older, became an adult, started adulting a little bit. Bought myself a 1971 half Penton 125 6-day replica. That was an awesome bike. Rode it around, went trail riding on it. Motoplat went out on it. Motoplat's kind of like the Stator. It's waterproof though. That bike could be submerged underwater up to the gas tank. That's where the air inlet was, but that bike was great. Raced an enduro on it. So I was a beginner on a Penton. Wound up not finishing, got stuck in a mud hole up to my gas tank. By the time I got pulled out of that thing, it was pretty much, I was late, disqualified. Throttle wound up sticking open on it anyway, so that didn't help any. Got pulled in, but it was still fun. And you know, put a new Motoplat went out because of the crankshaft bearings. Put a new crankshaft bearings on it. New Motoplat. Got it back together. Was so happy. Forgot to put a gear in it. Turned around, had to rip it back apart again. Got the gear in it. Got to put it back together. Cranked it up and rode it. Oh man, I was so happy. There I was, 18 years old, and completely redid an engine like that. Of course, biggest mistake somebody could make on like that, I didn't put any oil in it, so I wound up burning the clutch out. Wasn't sure what to do on the clutch at the time, and being a kid with no money, I wound up just letting it sit. And it sat for years and years and years. Wound up selling it off to my cousin. So what I did eventually switch to a Suzuki GT 550, 3-cylinder, 2-stroke. I had a handlebar mount fairing on it. It was pretty nice. Windshield. Drove that thing all over the place. Drove it Mississippi, Florida, and I got my foot wet. And it was a good little bike. My dad didn't like me on it though, and he knew that I was a trader and would trade almost for anything. So he got back then, 1967 Camaro. They weren't real expensive back then. He got one of those and knew I'd want to trade him for it. So and he was right. I did. So I was there for motorcycling for a while until Later on in life, I bought a, I forget what year it was, 1980 something Suzuki 750L, which is a Suzuki low swinger, what they called it. Rode it a bit for a little bit, wound up trading it for another dirt bike for my daughter to ride. Did buy a KX 250 as an 80 something KX 250, rode it for a while. It was a fun bike to ride. Bought it from a good friend of mine, Teresa. Thanks, Teresa. She basically the one got me back into dirt riding. If it wasn't for her, I may not got back into dirt riding. So I really appreciated that. Rode that. Finally, I bought a 95 CR 250. Started riding that. Started racing that in what was called the hobby class at the time, which was, you know, low down. Was below the beginner class, or the C class rather. You take and you know, you could double the jumps, you could clear the tabletops. I had practice on how to clear the step up, and by the time I started racing, they made the rule you could clear the step up. So, well, raced in that, and that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed doing that. Then moved to Central Florida, nowhere to ride, so bikes got put up for a while. And then around 2006 is when I bought this KLR and rode it to work. Great commute bike, great around town bike, commuter, man, this thing's awesome. Rode it from Orlando to, man, big bumps. Rode it from Orlando to Clearwater and back, and let me tell you, this seat is not comfortable for long distance riding. Of course, running down the interstate at close to 80 miles an hour on this thing is not really a lot of fun either. The wind tear you up, buffeting. You really drive this thing when you're going that fast on the interstate, but it'll do it. And there's plenty of throttle left. That's as fast as I wanted to go. So, you know, just Jesus, road is rough. But even a rough road is better than no road at all. Well, unless you like trail riding, I guess, but love riding. So anyway, back to where I was. Made it to Clearwater. On the way back, I was like, oop, there's my turn. I was like, man, I can't take it anymore. My butt was hurting. It was hurting really bad too. It's almost one of those things where you like just pull out in front of somebody and end it all. So, you know, but I'd have to make a lot of stops on the way back, and I made it home. But I don't do any super long trips on this thing anymore. Watching the EverRide channel, I've been reading about them. The seat concept seats are supposed to be pretty good, and for the cost, that's about $178 for a new seat compared to the almost $400 for a Corbin, which is way too much money. So I may put that on here and set this thing up and do some set it up for some touring. I motor purrs along pretty good at about 60-65 miles an hour, not high RPMs or anything. So I would like to get more of a touring type bike. Wouldn't mind having something like a Triumph Tiger or a Ducati Multistrada, or maybe even to go with a Japanese bike, a Suzuki V-Strom. I think would be pretty cool. And then me and the wife can do some riding on it. I think that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, and I've purchased some other bikes along the way that I still have, and I'll be riding those on some of these vlogs. Haven't done anything special to this KLR other than I got some side racks on the side for if I lay it down, it protects the rear end sides on it. Got them off of eBay. I forget what I paid for them. I bought them quite some time ago, but they definitely a lot less expensive than what you buy off the internet or somewhere else. I don't know if a guy still makes them or not. Would like to get some crash bars for the front. If I keep the KLR, I haven't decided yet. I may sell it and then buy one of the other bikes, or buy one of the other bikes and still keep this one too, because this is a fun bike to ride. It's a probably a slightly different experience than those other bikes. It's fun on these forest roads when it's not too sandy. Right now it's been raining every single day almost, and so the forest roads are definitely a little bit smoother. I'm also hoping this mic is working pretty good that I'm using. I bought a mic. This was I forget where I saw the advertisement from. I got a coast a minute. My right hand feels like it's about 20 inches round from the carpal. Don't want to stop running. You just gotta let go every now and then. I thought about getting those braces to see if I could ride with those braces on my arms. There was one video I may have to add to it where I was riding this thing and hit a ditch. It had a pretty flat side on the end of it. Man, put my face into the instrument panel, so that was a lot of fun. But anyway, so eventually get onto some other bikes, be riding those around. Some things I'm doing to some of my bikes. I do some single track riding too on a Husky 250 I have, of an 07. I'll be also riding a 2002 ZZR 1200. I've got to do some work on that. Carburetors are gumming up and loading up on me, so I'm trying to get that back up and running good. I got where I can ride it some now, but it still rides a little rough. And I got my CR250s in a box right now. I'm ripping it apart and put in a whole new system, fix it up where it's like brand new, start riding it on some races again. But anyway, this is G with Daggett's Dam, and hope you enjoyed this, and subscribe and see what happens on next videos.